Hey guys, welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. I'm doing a Saturday video, so you've seen this on a Saturday, which is the first time in 2 weeks. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm getting back in the groove of things. And there's reasons why, which I've just been pouring my heart out in my journal, so a journal mood is still kicking and going, and appreciate the focus on happiness, the pursuit of happiness, because yeah. And so I didn't know what I want to read, so I finished reading The Village Weavers, and I loved it. And I just was like, what am I gonna read next? And I was like, okay, let's go back to like the books that I purchased recently, and a classic. Yeah, I know I love my classic. So I decided to read Ila Lee, and this is by Frances Ellen Watkins Harper. Now, this book was believed to be the first book published by an African American woman, and this was 1892, I believe. And it wasn't until 1982 when our dear Mr. Historian, Mr. Finding Your Roots, Harry Gossett Jr. I know I always mess his name up. Yeah, no, Gates. Henry Louis Gates Jr. I had to get it right. I gotta get it right. And it was in 1982, I believe, that's when he let this book know that this was not the first. This was the first. This book was published back in 1856. This was many years later. However, there is for both books. Actually, they were out of print for a while, so it's kind of like lost in history until somebody dig it up. So I did read this, and I did a review on this maybe 2 years ago. And what I would say is this felt more novel compared to like the earlier ones, where I felt like they were really more nonfiction storytelling. And this does give you a bit of that. So this is a story. Now the back of this gave it that juicy tale, and how it's saying that the daughter was in the North, and the synopsis, it's a little misleading. This is a family story. This is a story about a wealthy white man who fell in love with a slave, but who is a slave that we will call the one drop. Meaning they look very much of a white woman, but if you did not know her family history, you would not know that she has any kind of African heritage. However, in this, he fell for her because of something that she was able to do, which is just give him life. And he loved her and decided to invest in her in terms of getting her educated, and married her and had children, and she lived as a white woman, as well as the children, not knowing their heritage, also lived as white. So they had 3 children. The story is about one of the child, where it's a spin-off on her, but if you think of the storyline, it is multiple people involved, so it's really a family saga. So this is leading up to the Civil War and June and the aftermath of Civil War. So there is, for what she did in 214 page is remarkable, because this book could have easily been 200 more page. And the reason why I say this, there are certain aspects of this book where the author kind of skipped over years, and then the character will just tell what happened to them. So in this, how things end up being chaotic is the husband, the father, the only white person, died, and a family member who disclosed that the one drop of the wife and the children, who should not get any of their family, as in their father, the wife, their father, the husband, heritage, not heritage, but its asset. So here comes the let's find these children, and in this case, Isla was in the north in school. Let's find them and get them back here and put them back in slavery. So this is where you get this. So this is one of those books that I find interesting because you guys know behind me are my Harlem Renaissance books. So you do get a lot of passing stories of people who choosing to live as a white person, even though that color barrier thing of them being the one drop. In this is the characters in this, once they discover their roots, the children, especially Isla, that she decided that she's going to live her truth and she's never going to deny her heritage that she knows of now, as far as her mom, her grandmother, and other family members that were discovered throughout the book. There's that case of love and the proposal of men, especially a doctor, well, two different doctors in this, and how they pursue her. And there's that case of no one will know that you have a one drop, so why even discuss it? Why even say it? And let's just be together. And there's that conflict of that in the story for the character. There is a part in the story where there's that reference to calling someone the white Negro, and that was kind of a moment for me because I was like, I never really heard that term, but that was used in the book to describe these people. Essentially, by the eyesight, they look white. Another thing about this that I thought was very interesting is how the author talks about those kind of slave, those that until they open their mouth and acknowledge what the one drop, they can go about life and be essentially normal until they address that. There's that instance in this where she goes to a predominantly, pretty much a black church, and the person she was working with asked why would she go to a black church. They just thought that was absolutely crazy for somebody who is white. And then when she disclosed that, it was like, oh no, we don't want to work with this person. We don't want to do that. So she experienced racism. She experienced struggle. But it's such a different experience because from the eyesight, you would not see her as a black person versus me coming into a room. There's no if and a but. There's no question in that. So I thought talking about that identity issue, and I think when you think of those time period and so many people that were in that state, how they did not sort of belong anywhere is kind of, they're not black enough, but they're also not white. So there's that in between, and how do you even hold on to your identity when you're questioned within different spaces. I thought that was interesting in this. Religion, politics, because this book went through the aftermath of a civil war. So there's that reconstruction, there's that forming a community and how to do that. There is a family member who came back to an area where his former slave owner, which was a woman, and the emphasis on this woman where she kept saying like but I was nice to you, like as if like that's okay, not acknowledge you still had him as a slave, so that was a greater importance for him not to be one versus your insisting that you were being nice. I actually laughed about that part, but it was just when I think about it, the audacity of that woman, Mrs. Johnson. There's also a doctor in this that I really like because he let a reverend have it, because religion was really such a strong thing in this book, where I find that the idea of being who you are, of being a slave owner, of being in this mess as a religious person, and having it and using that as a reasoning for why certain things was happening, was very much like strong in this. There's also the need to push alcohol in certain communities. It just felt like deja vu. Like this has been going on for many, many years. That was discussed in this book, which I thought was interesting. Now, because I think she crammed so much in 200 something page, there's that element where she missed out on things that she could have really go into and make the story even better. Because I did enjoy this. I thought this was absolutely a must read, especially if you like historical fiction, especially if you're into classics. This is definitely a must read kind of book, because I think because it was the early stage of writing certain books within the Black community, there's certain things about this book that I find that very special and very much like before its time, that kind of book. So there's so much I could dissect about this book. There's so much you can talk about. Is that the whole idea of poetry in this book is very much just like grabbed me, and how so many of these books, even the Harlem Renaissance, really love poetry, and how poetry was just such a method of coping, of having that inspiration to do things, to push, especially in a community setting. There's also this idea of education is very heavy in this book, and I think it's because the author has that background. But it talks about, you know, some of these women who find purpose in teaching and wanted to be in this community and teaching these young Black children how to read, and even one of the adults who sometimes they felt defeated, like their time had passed, it's just too late for them to learn, that kind of deal. I like that in this story. And even though it's not about love, I like the fact that love did come for her, and she did embrace it when it did come, and I like that. But this is not the kind of book I thought it was going to be. I absolutely feel like I got cheated out of not reading this earlier, because I had no idea about this book. I just discovered this book this year by watching a video. I can't even remember whose video I was watching, but I think I was looking for historical classic from the Victorian time. That's pretty much, I always try to look for that era. After that, it's a little easier for me to find the books, but pre-Victoria, yeah. So as you can tell, I've probably been talking about this book for a minute. So just know there's a lot more in this book. I really didn't even dig into this book. You really have to read this book. Just know this is a well done book for its time, and there's so much more that could have come out of this book. I wish it was longer. I wish more things were talked about. But I also can appreciate the time that it was written in. This is a Victorian book. So yeah. All right. What am I reading next? So apparently, I am trying to finish a romance, Christina C. Jones, that I'm actually enjoying. I just find my niche with her. There's certain niche that I know I can get down with. And I'm also trying to finish up before the end of the month the April pick for the Something Subscriber, which will be done. And that one it's coming along. And that's it. Now I wanted some more books to add, so I got The Housemaid because Frida got me good. The Teacher, I love The Teacher, and this seemed to be a lot of people's favorite, The Housemaid. So I was like, you know what, gotta get it. So I picked it up, and I'm just gonna jump in because it's already giving me creep with the cover. I also, again, want to read 3 books out of the Easy Reality, so I got book 4. Now I read book 3 this year, which was last month, so this is going to be book 4, which is Black Betty. And Walter Mosley is giving me all that I need. And I'm going to go in this one a little blind, because I think because of his storyline, I want to see where he's going to go next. But if you haven't read the series, it's 15 books in the series, guys. So it's going to be a long way to go. But I'm going to get through a lot of it within, this year, at least 3. So that will give me, so if I read this and one more, that would be 5. So if I can do that, and then next year keep it going, I could finish the series in less time, right? So there we go. And then I don't know why I saw this book, and the reason I really picked it up is because it is set in Panama, and this is Out of Office. Now it is romance. Now I am starting to collect the books that I want for my summer romance series. Every year I tend to have like a group of books that are romance that is set in either the summer or some kind of tropical setting, something. And I love reading those kind of books in the summertime, and it's just like my thing. So I think this is definitely going to be one that's going to be on there because it is set. Look at the cover. It is screaming yes. And it's giving a woman who is just helped open up a hotel, so she want to explore and had some kind of connection with her driver. That's what I'm getting. So I don't know if this is going to make it to the summer. I might end up reading it before the summer, but this is what I'm going to definitely put on my list soon. Now, the other two books did not come yet, so I'll talk about those whenever they come. And I'm doing good. I don't feel so bad about buying books because even for this month, a lot of the books that I read this month were new books that I recently picked up. So I've been reading a lot of the books that I'm getting. They're not just coming in and sitting on my shelf. I'm reading them, so I'm excited about that. So let's talk about some art and craft. Now this morning I decided to do my black dress. I'll pop it up here. It is one of those very basic, but on me, because of the boobs, is giving padao. Yeah, and I love it. It's just that simple black dress that took less than 2 hours, guys. Less than 2 hours. So I am going to modify the front the next time I make it. I want it a little bit sexier. I want it a little bit more cleavage. So I think I'm going to modify it and lengthen the inside. It has lining inside, and I felt like the lining inside could be a little bit longer. But then I kind of want to get some mesh, so I think that's a possibility for the next one, which is hoping is going to be in a white, so it'd be a little bit more summery or some kind of color that says summer. But I like the black because I can wear it now because it's still kind of cool. But then I could wear it in the fall later with some boots or whatever. It's just a versatile dress. Simple, less than 2 hours. You cannot beat that. That's that pattern that you got a event and you just need something really quick that you think is gonna be presentable but cute, and you can wear some here because there's a long version to this as well. And then also I have it a bit loose in the waist area because you know, my belly. So I know once I continued on this workout every damn day situation, and I think as my you know comes down, I would snatch it in a little bit and it will be more what I want it to look like. But right now we ain't doing that. So and that's it. I am going to be making another dress today. Because I don't know if I want to wear that or this one because I have a birthday event at a winery. Let's hope it doesn't get canceled because the weather is not looking too great tomorrow. But I'm thinking of starting that tonight and then tomorrow finishing it. If I wear that, I will show you. If you follow me on Instagram, you get the first dip because I tend to show my project as I'm doing it on Instagram story. So that's a craft. Then my coworker, who used to be a seamstress for many years, even went to school and know how to pattern draft and all that, gave me her old serger, guys. This is the vintage serger. They don't even have this one because you know I have a serger. I think I have it plugged in. Let me plug it out. Even the foot is heavy. This thing is heavy. This thing is small. Ooh. Trying to hold it for the parts. It's small, guys, but it is heavy. Like I had to travel with this from my office to my car, and I was just like a workout. They made them really with metal. This is straight up metal because the new sergers that I do have one. It is light. I mean, I can literally carry that and don't feel nothing. So the only difference is because she has not used this in many years, that the thing here where the needles move up and down is not moving. So I'm going to have to open it and I'm going to have to oil and get it to loosen up. because it works in terms of it's on. You plug it in, the lights on and everything. But you can tell by looking at it, it is probably dry as hell. So I'm going to open up the side, the area where the needle is. I mean, I don't know if these needles are any good, but I do have needles and I can always get surgery needles. I did not know Ken Moore makes surgery. I did not know that, but it's if I can get it to, you know, grease it up and get it work, I definitely want to try it out and use it in between both my surgery, because I just find the classic sewing machine and sergers are so much better. And I'm jealous I don't have a regular sewing machine that is old, but at the same time they're so heavy that I really wouldn't have nowhere to put it. You guys know I'm on my loft, and which is the 3rd floor. To carry some old sewing machine up here would be but I would like to have one maybe at my mother's place, because I feel like that house can handle some old machine, and it would be cool to have that there. But you know, I might be lucky if somebody has an old one and want to donate it to me, because this was donated to me. And again, I just have to remove. And it's so much cooler than mine, because mine only have this. I don't have this. So I'm assuming this is parts. Yeah. And I don't have to worry about needles. She has new needles. There's new needles in here. There's the screwdriver to unscrew all the stuff I need to do to get the these are for the oh, there's a whole lot of go. Like, she barely used this. This is brand new. She barely used it. I can tell. It's no way, because my stuff that I come with, this is already, mine is so fuzzy and full of all kind of things. This is what I normally use to clean out the dust area and stuff. So yeah, and then there's other parts in here. So yeah, I was just talking about needle, and I don't gotta buy no needle because there's needle here. So yeah, I think I'm just going to play around and open up all of it, clean it, oil it down, and get it loosened up. And hopefully that's all I have to do. If not, let's hope that's all I have to do. But if I have to take it to there is a repair place. Hopefully it's not going to be nothing expensive, hopefully. Because I really don't, this is in such a good condition. Like, she said she barely ever did use it. So you can tell, because there's not any, you know, thing on there. But again, if you don't use it and it's sitting around for a minute, the oil do dry up. And so I'm assuming the oil in this is dry. So it's going to probably need some oil and some fendant to loosen the stuff up. Put some new needles in, and we're going to test it out. So if I get to work, you will see it. You will definitely see it. And yeah, so I'm going to end it here. And there's definitely going to be a weekend vlog if I do go to that place, because I'm excited. It will be my first little outing here in a while. I have literally in next month, I have events like almost every weekend. So that's another reason why I'm trying to do as much sewing, because I'm not gonna have time. And I just realized too, she still had the book. She still had a book. So definitely going to be reading this and how to use it and all of that stuff. Sorry guys, let's push this out of the way, this heavy thing. I am going to edit, and I will see you in the next one. So let me know if you read any of these books. If you read this one, of course, let's chat about it. And what are you reading this week? Actually, what classic have you read lately? Like, give me some classic you read lately that you enjoyed. Let's see. And again, if you read this, let me know. So I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.